before a single guest arrives, before the flowers are chosen, before the walls are written, before the venue is dressed in candlelight. There is a piece of paper, small, quiet, held between two hands. It arrives in an envelope, sealed with intention, and in that single moment, it tells someone everything they need to know about what is coming. Not just a date, not just a place, a feeling. This is where we begin. Every commission begins with a conversation. Mikhail and Nadia came to us with something very specific and also beautifully open. They wanted their guests to feel Russia, not the Russia of textbooks or tourism, but the Russia of golden domes, catching late afternoon light, of grand staircases built for slow, deliberate descents, of canals that move quietly beneath stone bridges while the city breathes above them. They wanted romance that felt earned, architecture that told a story, art that said, this love is worthy of beauty. So we begin, as we always begin, not with software, not with samples, but with a question: what does this love feel like? And then, with that answer held gently in mind, we opened a sketchbook. There is something sacred about the sketch stage that we never want to rush, because this is where the idea is most fragile and most honest. The pencil does not know what the final piece will look like. It is searching, making proposals, asking questions of the page. We knew we wanted four scenes, four moments in the story of Michael and Nadia's love, each set against a landmark that felt like St. Petersburg in its bones. The Church of the Savior on Spilled Blood, iconic, layered, alive with color, would be their arrival. The couple walking towards it, their backs to us as we are witnessing something private, the hermitage staircase, all imperial grandeur and quiet romance would be their dance. A deep, a kiss, the whole world distilled into one held moment. In the sketch stage, these were just pencil lines, imprecise, uncertain in places. But that imprecision, that is not weakness. That is the foundation being laid. Color. Color is not decoration. Color is emotion, made visible. For this suite, the palette had to carry two things simultaneously: the richness of Imperial Russian architecture and the warmth of two people who are deeply, genuinely in love. We reached for terracotta, warm at the honest, for teal, cool and jewel like the color of these iconic domes against a grey St. Petersburg sky, for amber gold, the color of the Hermitage by candlelight, and threading through everything a soft ivory, the color of the paper itself, the color of silence. A palette is a promise. These colors promised warmth, depth, history, love. We kept that promise. Before we refine, we feel. The brush pen stage is our permission to be loose, to let the color breathe and move and settle where it will. We are not controlling everything here. We are in conversation with the paper. Real art has texture. Real art has the places where the brush hesitated, where the ink bloomed slightly beyond its intended edge, where the paper drank the pigment unevenly and made something more interesting than anything we planned. We do not hide these moments, we collect them. because the couple who come to us are not looking for something that looks machine made. They are looking for something that feels like it was touched by hands that cared deeply. Every imperfect edge is a fingerprint, ours, left deliberately in the art. Handmade stage gives us the soul. The digital stage gives us the precision. We never lose the original. The rough scan is always our foundation, our reference, the heartbeat beneath everything. But now we can go further, deeper. Think of it this way: the sketch is the architecture, the rough color is the first coat of plaster, the digital painting is where the gilding begins. We work in layers, literally dozens of them. Each layer holds a different truth about the image. The digital process for us is not about making something feel less handmade. It is about making the handmade vision fully realized, as complete and as luminous as it deserves to be. And then it moves. This is the moment we work toward through every hour of sketching, every color test, every layer named and organized and prepared, so that when a guest receives this invitation, when they open a link or a tap a QR code, the art becomes alive. Not dramatically, not with fanfare or special effects, just alive. Like a memory being replayed, like a city breathing. Someone will watch this animation in a quiet moment on a Tuesday evening or Wednesday afternoon at their kitchen table, a cup of tea going cold beside them, and they will feel something. They feel this wedding is going to be something extraordinary. That is what we made. That is what we are always trying to make. Now the art is complete. Now comes the question that changes everything. What does it live on? Paper is not neutral, paper has a voice. We choose a watercolor cardstock 600 GSM, torn rather than cut, because it carries the weight this artwork deserves. When you hold it, you know immediately that it is not something to be glanced at and discarded, it is something to be kept. Because the couple receiving this suet is not identical to any other couple. Their love is specific, their story is particular, their invitation should be true. Assembly is, I think, our favorite part, because this is the moment when everything becomes whole. The sketches, the color decisions, the hours at the screen, the paper chosen and printed, and it all comes together here in these final quiet minutes with ribbon and wax and careful hands. We think about the person who will open this, the aunt who lives far away and rarely travels but will make an exception for this wedding, the childhood friend who will carry this invitation in their bag for weeks. They will not know about the layers. They will not know about the erased pencil lines or the color swatches that did not make the cut. They will only feel what we made. And that feeling, that is the whole point. That is the only point that has ever mattered. An invitation is such a small thing to hold, and yet it carries the weight of everything that is coming. All the joy, all the gathered people, all the words that have not been spoken yet. We make them by hand because we believe that some things should not be rushed, that some things deserves the full and complete attention of an artist who understands what is at stake. Not just beautiful paper, a story told before the story even begins. If you are planning something extraordinary, something that deserves this kind of care, we would be honored to begin a conversation. Links are below. We had loved to hear about your love story. Thank you.